They told the world the greatest moment in human history had been recorded forever. But what if that footage was never really saved? What if the most important event mankind ever witnessed was quietly erased? In 1969, millions of people watched as Neil Armstrong stepped onto the surface of the moon. A moment so iconic, it became burned into the collective memory of humanity. Decades later, NASA made a stunning admission. The original tapes, the highest quality recordings of the moon landing, the master copies, were missing, vanished, gone, and no one could explain how. This is the story of NASA's missing moon tapes and what they might have contained. On July 20th, 1969, the world held its breath. Every radio dish, every satellite, every antenna pointed toward one place, the moon. Inside Mission Control, engineers tracked every heartbeat, every fuel reading, every whispered word from two men standing on an alien world. Neil Armstrong's boot touched lunar soil. One small step for man, and history changed forever. But what most people don't realize is this. What the world saw on television wasn't the original footage. It was a degraded, converted broadcast. A live signal that had already been processed, downscaled, and transmitted through multiple layers of analog equipment before it ever reached Earth. The real recordings, the raw data, the master tapes, were far higher resolution, clearer, sharper, more detailed than anything ever broadcast. And NASA recorded everything. Every second.
Every frame.
Every sound. These tapes were stored on massive reels of magnetic data tape, the gold standard of 1960s space telemetry. And for decades, they were believed to be locked away, preserved, protected, until someone went looking for them. In the early 2000s, researchers inside NASA began searching for the original Apollo 11 telemetry recordings. Their mission was simple: digitize the tapes, restore the footage, give the world its first true high-definition look at humanity's first steps on another world. But when they reached the archives, the tapes weren't there. Entire vaults stood empty. Shelves, once labeled Apollo 11 Original Data, contained nothing but dust. NASA initiated a full internal search. Warehouses, storage bunkers, off-site facilities, every known archive. Nothing. The tapes had vanished, and the deeper they dug, the stranger the story became. These weren't ordinary recordings. They were government property, classified technical assets, chain of custody tracked, logged, signed, transferred only with official documentation. Yet there were no records of destruction, no disposal orders, no transfer logs, no theft reports, just silence. Then came the official explanation. NASA said the tapes were most likely erased, reused, recorded over during later missions, because magnetic tape was expensive. This answer stunned historians, because these weren't ordinary tapes. They documented one of the most important moments in human history. The idea that NASA would casually overwrite humanity's first footsteps on another world sounded almost impossible. And yet, that was the story. But cracks soon appeared. Former engineers quietly admitted that the Apollo 11 tapes were marked as permanent archival assets. They were never meant to be reused, never meant to be erased, and never meant to leave controlled storage. So where did they go? As independent investigators began asking questions, a darker narrative began to emerge. One involving Cold War secrecy, military intelligence, and things seen on the moon that may never have been meant for public eyes. During the Apollo missions, astronauts were not alone. They were accompanied by dozens of classified instruments, radiation detectors, magnetic anomaly sensors, seismic monitors, and high-resolution imaging systems far beyond what the public was shown. These instruments were designed to study more than rocks. They were scanning for anomalies, unusual energy signatures, strange structures, and unexplained signals. And according to declassified fragments and leaked testimonies, they may have found something. Former NASA contractors later claimed that unfiltered telemetry revealed objects near the lunar horizon. Objects that moved, reflected light, changed position. Astronauts reportedly described seeing lights, shadows, shapes on distant crater rims. These transmissions were never broadcast. They were filtered, delayed, or cut entirely. And those original master tapes would have captured everything, every unfiltered second, every unexplained anomaly, every whispered word between astronauts and mission control, including moments the public was never meant to hear. There are reports of technicians being escorted out of control rooms, audio channels suddenly going dead, video feeds abruptly switching to test patterns, then restoring moments later, as if nothing happened. The missing tapes could hold answers to what truly happened during those silent intervals. And that possibility terrifies many, because if something truly anomalous was discovered, it would shatter everything we believe about humanity's place in the universe. Some researchers believe the tapes were deliberately removed, confiscated, sealed, buried deep within classified military archives. Others believe they were destroyed to eliminate evidence, to prevent public panic, to protect technological secrets, or to hide encounters that defied explanation. NASA has repeatedly denied any cover-up, but they've also admitted the tapes are gone forever. No backups, no duplicates, no surviving originals. Only degraded copies of live broadcasts, a shadow of what once existed. And the timing makes the mystery even more chilling, because not long after the tapes disappeared, NASA quietly shut down human moon missions. Despite having the technology, despite massive public support, despite having already proven it was possible, we never returned. For more than 50 years. And the question still lingers. What did we really find on the moon? And did something there change everything? Because if the missing tapes truly held nothing extraordinary, why make them vanish? Why leave behind only fragments? Why allow the most important recordings in human history to simply disappear? Unless they showed us something we were never meant to see. Something that still waits, silent, watching from the shadows of the lunar surface. And if those tapes ever resurface, they may finally reveal the truth about what happened when mankind first stepped onto another world, and what might still be waiting for us out there